Alright guys, what is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Got Bash.
And I'm Francis.
And this is The Push. We are back, people. We are back. We took a week off, took a little bit of a break, but we are back, and I'm sure not too much shit happened while we were away. It's only been 1 week. I mean, what could possibly... Oh, my God. All right.
This is what happens when we don't have our eye on the ball.
We took off 1 week. Guys, we took off 1 week and fucking everything happened. Everything happened. How the hell did this happen? What the fuck has been going on?
I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about it later on.
It's a lot of ups and downs in the wrestling world, right?
There's been a whole bunch of crazy shit going on, so let's not waste any time. Let's start it off. We had a pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? Last week?
Did.
How do we want to say this? 2 weeks ago, let's say that. King and Queen of the Ring happened. We got a new queen. We got a new king. We got a new champion. Guys, we got a lot of shit to talk about, so let's waste no time. Let's just dive right into this. Now, as per usual, we did do our predictions beforehand. I have the notes right here from that. By the way, Dom, welcome back. We're happy to have you back, bro. So let's dive right in. Let's dive right into this, folks. Our first match, the Queen of the Ring Finals, Lyra Valkyria and Nia Jax. Before we get into the before we talk about the match for a little bit, I want to mention that Nia Jax did win. She is your Queen of the Ring. And funny enough, I was the only one to predict this, which, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Guys, what the hell? Why am I the only one that saw this coming?
Because
She's
we didn't follow...
She's the Dairy Queen.
Because
Jesus
we
Christ.
didn't bawl our eyes out at the My Whole segment like you did.
I'm just being
Where
honest,
did that
guys.
come from?
Guys,
That was like so long ago.
that you.
Fucking geek-ass bitch.
First of all, guys, I made this point in our last episode, which you can watch on YouTube, by the way. I mentioned this in our last episode, guys. These tournaments are made for the heels. These tournaments are made for the heels,
And I
people.
made this counterpoint to your giddy little ass.
You
They
made
could
the
have used a
counterpoint of
better
like
heel.
1 or 2 people. I had like 20. Like what? Listen, I'm not even mad. I'm just like not understanding how like I'm the only one that saw this coming for some reason. I'm more upset about the fact that like, you know, even 2 weeks afterwards, Francis, you're still yelling at me like this is the most indefensible take possible.
Yeah, really. Honestly, I saw it coming. I think I was just being optimistic that they were going to push Lyra instead.
I mean, to be
Yeah, and
honest,
then NXT wrestler wins the tournament. That would have been awesome.
I mean,
That would have been a hell of a call-up.
I mean, to be honest with you, so now let's talk about the match a little bit now. And I'm going to be honest with you. Despite the fact that Nia won, I do not think Lyra looked bad in this at all. I don't think she looked bad.
They played it good because they didn't do the natural, oh, there's nothing she can do. Then it's usually like for most of it, she was getting her ass kicked most of the match, but they did a different storyline with it because usually they'll get a miraculous comeback and they'll look like they're almost winning and then they'll lose at the end, but it didn't wind up this way. She just couldn't get nothing going on.
I disagree. Again, I don't think she looked terrible in this match, to be honest with you. I thought she had some pretty good spots.
She played it very well. It's like
Cap, we're in the dark days because Scott is being nicer than me.
Yeah, what the hell?
Give it a minute.
There's the episode's still young here, Francis.
I was gonna say, wait until we change topics.
Yeah, true. Anyway,
when we get to AEW, I'll go back.
The main thing I think people do want to talk about from this match is the fact that Nia nearly fucking killed this woman. Again.
Wow, what a fucking shock!
Like
I wanted this.
It's almost like she was 3 times her weight.
Shades of Yokozuna in some cases, but
not even that. She's just unsafe.
Dude, shades of Samoa Joe nearly breaking Tyson Kidd's neck.
That is also true.
Like I'll give credit where credit's due. In her most recent run, she has definitely been not as dangerous in the ring.
No, I will give her that she does seem more polished now. Like things don't seem as dangerous. She seems a little more
polished, but like she's still very. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say she's very dangerous, but she's still not like one of the safer people to work with. Like, don't get me wrong, she's not at that point where she was a couple years ago, where she was giving Kairi Sane a concussion every week.
Oh no, not even close. Not even close. I will say that she has she's gotten better. I got to be fair here. She has gotten better.
Yeah, Francis, she keeps. I mean, sorry, I'll let Francis go after this, but she keeps like for all the big men, and I say men as in like like a group like Mankind, but like she uses her body too much to squish people, and instead of just being just a tank. Because, like, yes, there's some huge wrestlers that will go and do, like, splashes and use their body to go on them, but not all of them do. I feel like most of her stuff is just, let me just entirely squish your body against the ring.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I will say, she's still, it's still not perfect, but I will say she has gotten... much better in the ring. And frankly, I'm going to be honest, I do think that the crown is a nice little addition to her character.
Yeah, it actually gives her one.
I think...
The crowns actually look fucking nice for a change, instead of looking the same ugly BS.
Crowns are absolutely gorgeous. Oh my god.
It used to look like they went to Party City when they get those fucking crowns.
No, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right.
The one that they had for Corbin, the black one. That one was cool.
Yeah.
Remember the one Sheamus had way back when?
Oh
the
god,
Celtic one.
I don't know. I don't know that I loved that one, but regardless. Anyway, Francis, what are your takes on this match?
Thank you for keeping it at a merciful 9 minutes 40 seconds.
Did you really time the match, or did you just look that up?
No, I think he actually timed it.
How the fuck did you remember that?
Oh, I had it saved on my phone.
Huh. Well,
that is all you're getting.
Okay, well, I guess that's the best we can get out of him. Anyway,
Francis, a man of many words.
Man of many words here, Francis Harrison.
He didn't say anything about the match. He just said how long it was.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way.
Let
me paraphrase. I understand where Francis is coming from. He's basically saying the entire match.
Thank you.
There we go.
See?
There we go. This is the highbrow comedy that you expect from this show, people. Anyway, let's move on.
Mel Brooks wishes.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to our women's championship match. We had Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Now, I was actually quite surprised with this match. Because, well, at the time I was actually quite surprised. Now as new events have unfolded, I'm not so surprised anymore. We'll get to that later on in the show. We all thought that Becky was going to win this match. And surprising to, well, maybe to nobody at this point, we were all fucking wrong. Liv Morgan is your new women's world champion.
Which leads me to believe a few things that I will dive into after you guys.
So actually,
you
I'm
can go
glad.
first.
No, actually, Francis, you can go first. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, for one thing, it tells me that I think Rhea might be coming back sooner than we think. So we can put a nice bow on that little angle with Liv.
Yeah, I think SummerSlam.
It's got to be SummerSlam at this point.
SummerSlam's a great place to have a blow-off match.
It's the only way that it's the only way that this title match can feel, that this title reign can feel justifiably long. Or maybe this is better than her last title run. I don't know. Do you guys feel like this is that this title run so far has been better or worse than her last one?
Honestly, I think so far it's been the same because, I mean, don't get me wrong, she had the win over Becky, which is big, but she had help from Dom. And then she had the steel cage match, rematch with Becky on the following Monday's Night Raw. And she won because she had help from Dom.
She have help from Dom, or did she have help from Braun?
Exactly the same as her last title run, where every win is by pure luck. Like, she can't get a real win for some reason.
Because heel work, I don't know.
No,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just trying to come up with like something.
It's because it's not believable that she would beat Becky Lynch.
No, it is not.
It's because of heel work, but I also don't like how they're continuing her title runs like this, because I understand her first title, she was a babyface and rather very how they portrayed her, underskilled and trying to overcome everything.
Yeah.
But this isn't that title run. You came in as a heel and you injured a title holder who probably would have kept it held if she didn't get injured. You have to start winning your matches as a dominant heel. I understand. I don't know what is with all these heel wrestlers. The fact that all of them have to have somebody help them win. Can we get a heel wrestler that people just personally hate because of the words that come out of his mouth and is good, instead of it being, oh, they got help because they won? I want a different storyline of a heel wrestler than the same BS every time.
Yeah, because it's like, you have Liv, who, I get it. Like I said, she's only had 2 title matches, but it's just very similar to her first title run, which was, like I said, she won Money in the Bank, which was great. Cashed in on Ronda Rousey, but then every match after that was like, I got lucky. I barely made it, and now it's, I got it because Dom tried to help Becky and I took advantage of that. Excuse me.
Okay, so
because you have that, and then you look at the men's division and you have Logan Paul, who can only win by using brass knuckles.
Okay, so
and a streamer and an unknown streamer that doesn't deserve to be there.
Who barks at people? No, I'm still not over that.
Depending on the generation, apparently a lot of people know about that, dude. Depending on the generation, I don't know. I personally don't.
They're literally. I'm sorry to say this to blow everybody up, but streamers are right there with reality show actors on one of the worst people to be famous, because you have no talent. No, they don't need to be there. There's nothing special. They're not contributing to anything. They're just there. Like, nobody cares. Nobody ever got hyped off of somebody returning. It's always just the announcers that make it seem special. But of course, just like every heel, you can't, for some reason, every heel can't win without help. It kind of makes you look bad at this point.
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind the title run so far, to be honest with you. I do think it is a bit better than it was last time. Simply because I feel like there's actual story behind this one, to be honest with you. I feel like the added fact that there is an actual storyline going on, the fact that I think this Revenge Tour character is actually, I think it's a bit of an improvement than what we've been seeing. I don't know how I feel about Liv Morgan as a babyface, to be honest with you. I think she was quite boring. As a heel, I can at least tell you that there's more personality. I can at least tell you that much. So, I don't know.
I can agree with that.
Perhaps
it's always the case with heel wrestlers.
Perhaps it's just me. I just feel like that this is a bit better than her first one. I can't say with 100% certainty that it's better, but I can certainly tell you that I can certainly at least tell you that there's a lot more personality in this title run, and that's an instant improvement. So yeah, like I said, there is nobody got the point on that one. Next off, let's talk about the Intercontinental Triple Threat match: Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed.
That was my match of the night.
We will get to that. Quickly, we all said that Sami Zayn was going to win, so we all got a point off of that, but me and Scott Bash actually received an additional point because we both said that Sami was going to pin Bronson Reed. So, overall, I'm just going to start off by saying this match was fucking fantastic. This was a fantastic match, I will say.
It was especially fantastic because it wasn't boring. Like, I'm surprised it wasn't boring because Sammy's been having to defend his title against the same two people in the last, 2 months. But surprisingly enough, it wasn't like, oh god, now that we're gonna versing them again. It was actually really good. It was probably one of the matches I paid most attention to because I wasn't bored out of my mind watching.
Then there were a lot of fantastic spots to it. I like the double ankle lock thing where Chad, I think it was Chad had an ankle lock on Bronson and Sami had an ankle lock on Chad or something like that. I thought that was a fucking crazy spot.
No, but I got one better for you. Obviously, the best move of that whole match was Chad Gable doing a double suplex to Sami and Bronson Reed. Holy shit!
That was absolutely insane. I don't think anybody can deny at this point. Chad Gable is one of the strongest people in that division. Pound for pound, he is one of the strongest men I think I have ever seen.
Yeah. He's Perk Gable now. There's no way around it.
There is no Chad, only Perk.
I mean, he's gonna bleed from the eyes while screaming at the top of his lungs doing an ankle lock.
I don't doubt that might be in the future, to be honest with you. But
it's gonna be haunting, but it's gonna look so fucking cool.
But yeah. Speaking of which, Francis, what did you think about this match?
I told you it was my match of the night. The aforementioned double suplex spot was absolutely bananas, like Scott said. I'm really, really enjoying the rise of the Perk Gable. His heel run is going to be... Honestly, Scott, going back to what you said about heels not being able to do things themselves, maybe, and this is a very big maybe Perk Gable will be the exception to that, and we can see him get by just by sheer athletic lunacy alone.
Yeah, because even though he's still getting help, it is different. There's it's not like they're rushing in to help him. There's hesitation. There's a storyline between it. It's not just, oh, here they are. Oh, they're interfering again. It's actually like, hey, guys, come on. I'm changing shit. Get the fuck in here and help me.
Yeah, their interference is building on the story that they're doing within the Alpha Academy.
It's true.
I still don't want Otis to leave during that story.
I honestly don't think he is. I want
him to be the only one that stays.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think Tozawa is going to go back to just being a fucking gremlin in the locker room.
Not on TV, yeah.
And then Maxine is going to go off and just be a babyface by herself, or maybe she'll team up with somebody.
Yeah, I think a tag team she's going to switch to.
Tag team, maybe. And then Otis is going to go full-on heel turn and side with Gable.
Actually,
because he was a heel with Gable before, so it
wasn't really like a heel.
It would like. No, I mean it didn't last long
because
because Gable won.
Comedy heels than
Because Gable he couldn't really do his heel run at first couldn't really go anywhere because he was so loved, so he had to roll with the popular the popular crowd for a second, and now it's just like, oh god, fine.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. They were doing the comedy heel thing, so they were like kind of like doofy.
True.
And then they got over, so they were faces, and now like Chad did his full on true heel turn.
Actually, Dom, you weren't here the time we were getting to talk about this. So not only do I want to hear your thoughts about this match, I want to hear about your thoughts about Chad Gable as a heel so far, in general.
Oh, it's fucking... I mean, I agree with Francis. It was definitely the match of the night. A strong contention with the main event, which we'll get to later. But I think the triple threat was my favorite. They just had some really good spots. The three of them had some great chemistry in the ring and everything. So it's like, it was instant, what's the word I'm looking for? Not an instant classic, but it was definitely up there. It was definitely one of the better matches.
If you had to make like a match of the year list, it won't be in the top 5, but definitely the top 10.
Yeah. So far, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
There's still a lot of year left. But,
yeah, there is.
No, but yeah, the storyline, the whole heel Chad Gable thing, or as I've been calling him, the Perk Gable, I am very much a fan. I love a good heel turn with, like, I like a good heel turn with a good reason. You know, it made sense why he turned heel. You know, he's like, couldn't get it done being the good guy and doing everything right, so he's gonna fucking perk up and go be Perk Gable up in this bitch. Granted, I would kill for like prime Perk Angle.
I'm gonna be honest.
Perk Gable.
I'm gonna be honest. I had my apprehensions about it to begin with, mostly because we did want to see Chad Gable as champion, but I think we wanted to see him as like a face. I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. So I had my apprehensions at first, but it's starting, as time has gone by, it has started to warm up on me. I've warmed up to the idea of a heel Chad Gable, just because, damn, this man is actually a very good heel. He is actually a very hateable person when he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
This man is a damn good heel.
I mean, that's the whole thing, is they're doing like a real heel run instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna be annoying and this and that, like they did when Alpha Academy first became a thing.
Ooh, I'm an annoying gym teacher. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You know, the man's in a treat him like one. Let him fucking do what he's got to do, and like now he's doing it, and it's paying off dividends, in my opinion.
Couldn't agree more.
There is also a standstill that they're gonna be hitting in this standstill soon, because right now he's safe because he's currently in the process of losing his faction.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, this heel run is supposed to be this heel run is supposed to bump him up for a title match.
Yeah,
and
he can't keep losing.
You just can't put him in that title match anymore. And with God, I just feel like his title. I just can't get behind it. Damian Priest with that title. But the only way to make this successful after the group breaks up is to start pushing them into the main event. You can't put him in a tag match anymore. It's not going to make any sense if you put him in a tag match with whoever stays or whoever brings in. So he has to go and start versing major talent.
I agree. No, I do agree. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the King of the Ring final. Now.
Yes.
Okay, Scott's really excited about this one.
Of the ring.
So anyway, I'm gonna. All right, hold on, Scott. Hold on, keep it in your pants, buddy.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. before we get into this match, I would just like to point out we all predicted Gunther was going to win, and he did. So we all have a point on that. Congratulations, everybody! All right, Scott, I can feel you're about to explode. So why don't you tell us your thoughts on this match?
You know, this was the obvious one out of the two. You know, no shit, no questions about that. But first of all, I like how they just randomly just ignored the fact that Randy Orton didn't get pinned. But, you know, he was supposed to win anyway, so it doesn't matter. I like the way he holds the crown.
Yeah, he won't wear the crown.
It's not like he's wearing it. He just he holds it by his waist, with his arm. I love that look for him. To be honest,
he's very like not saying it, but saying it that he's like too good for the crown.
He's doing
right.
Napoleon.
Well, I'm not saying that. I don't think he's saying he's too good for the crown. I think he's going to do it with the level of prestige and the level of class that this man usually shows. He's not going to turn into a cartoon.
And with the fact that he is on Raw, and Damian Priest, I'm pretty positive. I'll bet money with anybody saying that Damian Priest's title reign ends at SummerSlam. It's going to end at SummerSlam. Gunther isn't going to lose Damian Priest. It doesn't fly with me.
You know, I could agree with that, especially if Rhea comes back and has a match with Liv at SummerSlam.
Especially since I feel like Finn Balor's just he's gonna leave. Like, one of them has to leave. It's not going to be Dom because he's whipped. It's going to be Finn because Finn deserves better than where he's at right now. Joining him in the faction was good, but he's a lot better of a wrestler.
For real. Honestly, I think I've been saying that, and Cap can attest to this. I've been saying this since Finn joined the Judgment Day, that he is too good for the Judgment Day and doesn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole idea was for Edge to bring up talent that he knew had a chance to shine, but they just needed something.
Yeah.
Finn Balor was already shining.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, he really wasn't. He was kind of stagnant. They weren't booking him well. Which is unfortunate because the man's a fucking beast. Like, he's one of the greatest wrestlers of our time, in my opinion.
Founder and original leader of the Bullet Club.
Exactly.
True.
But that's what I'm saying. I was happy that they pulled him into Judgment Day so he could fucking have a heel turn and stop being a babyface because, Vince McMahon wouldn't let him be a heel. So when he finally pulled the trigger and had him join the Judgment Day, it was so much better. But I think he needs to go part ways with the Judgment Day but stay a heel, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, let him be the fucking gremlin that he is when he's a heel. And let him just be the psycho that he is.
True.
And just go at it. And, even if you want, move him over to SmackDown maybe or something just to get him away from the Judgment Day.
I agree. But anyway, Dom, what about your thoughts on this match? What about the King of the Ring final?
I mean, I had a feeling it was going Gunther. I really couldn't picture it. Like, Randy Orton is at the point in his career, he doesn't need these wins. He doesn't need the accolades. He doesn't need this and that because he's already a legend. The guy, he's a fucking Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, right? They didn't induct Evolution yet, right?
I don't believe so.
No. So he's a future Hall of Famer, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So it's like he doesn't need those wins. Like, he could be there to elevate, when you're at that stage of your career where, he's a 14-time world champion.
Yep.
The youngest heavyweight champion ever.
Also,
multiple accolades, multiple WrestleManias. Like, it's not necessary to get a King of the Ring win. So, and Gunther is just so fucking spot on for this stuff. Like, having him as King of the Ring. But the match between the two of them was an absolute clinic of technical wrestling. Like, it was fantastic.
Absolutely, man. Francis, what are your thoughts?
I'm glad Gunther got the win, and Randy did a really good elder statesman thing by, he made Gunther look like $1 million.
He really did.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
I mean, Gunther doesn't need help, but holy shit.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's another guy who heel that actually does great without needing.
He's like the only one.
He is the only one.
Yeah.
He's literally the only one.
The bloodline.
Yeah. But all in all, if it wasn't for the Intercontinental Triple Threat, this is my. I would have given this match of the night, but still, there's nothing wrong coming in second place. Right guy won, and I can't wait to see what the future has for the Ring General.
I have to agree with all of you. I think this was an utterly fantastic match.
Ring General.
I think
the Ring General.
I think the correct person won. I think this was a fantastic match. I had a feeling the second that I saw Gunther actually win on Monday Night Raw, I had absolute certainty that he was going to win this tournament because again, heels do better when in these type of tournaments. It's better when they win this, to be honest with you.
Even if Gunther was a babyface, he would have won.
But to be perfectly honest with you, it's that finish, man. That finish kind of. I can forgive that finish if it leads to another Randy versus Gunther match down the line. But
which I'm sure
it was. The match was almost perfect. It was a fantastic match, but without that mishap at the end, it would have been perfect. It'd have been perfect.
Sorry. Like sometimes when they do those kind of spots, like they'll do those like, oh, his shoulder was up kind of finish just to continue the feud. But I didn't see it that way when I watched it. I was like looking at the way it was because it was the crucifix pullover pin. I think Randy's weight just got away from him and pulled his shoulder up off the mat. I don't think, it was just a simple whoops, shit happened. But honestly, they played it off well. They didn't really make a big deal of it. Even the ref knew it was the finish and like kind of adjusted himself so it wasn't in his eye line.
Yeah.
If you notice that. Like, if you notice when Randy's shoulder comes off the mat initially, the ref kind of inches forward, so he's, like, behind him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good move by the ref. It's, seasoned referee, can make those quick changes,
Yeah. Yeah, so
because, honestly, I think they were already pressed for time, so they couldn't really extend the match anymore,
Yeah. I don't know. I have to take your word on the matter, Dom, obviously, because you have more experience in this world than the rest of us do. But I'm only gonna say this: so long as this is a story moving forward where we can somewhere else down the line get Gunther versus Randy Orton again, then I'm going to be perfectly fine with this. And it seems to me like that's the road that they're going down. So I'm gonna hold my judgment on this just for now. But for right now, I'm not gonna say it's a 10 out of 10, but it's at least like a 9.8 out of 10. I will say that. Yeah,
I'll definitely say because like they didn't completely ignore it the following Raw and SmackDown.
Well, you can't.
You can't. Exactly.
It was too blatant.
But, I don't think that it was their intent to make it a story down the line, but I think they will just because they kind of have to at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Those two guys are going to put on a hell of a match,
and they did.
They did.
And also, I do want to mention one other thing before we move on to the next match. One thing I love about Gunther, he doesn't have a set finish.
I feel like we've been saying that recently.
He really doesn't. He doesn't have he has the power bomb, like the thing, but like he doesn't need it every match. Like he doesn't use it every match.
Yeah,
sometimes he wins with a submission. Sometimes he wins with the power bomb. Sometimes he gets just a pinning combination that goes his way. I like the way he conducts himself in the ring, and it makes sense as the ring general that he wouldn't have just one finish. Like, he could finish the match with anything. Like, I'm pretty sure at least at one point in his career I've watched him finish a match with a chop.
Because he's that built different as an athlete.
He is that much of a machine, man. He is I've said it before on this show, and I will say it again, man. If you were to build the perfect wrestler, I do believe you would build Gunther. So,
and you know what's also the great thing that I don't think we've mentioned?
What?
The dude doesn't get fucking hurt.
No.
I don't remember him in NXT, UK NXT. I don't remember ever him getting hurt.
No.
Like, the fact that he held two different titles, 600 plus days, in two separate like companies, like, well, even though NXT is not a different company but a different brand, but the fact that he held two titles for over 600 days, it's like, where this guy, like, literally a machine, because you don't see him hurt ever. You don't even see a minor injury on the dude. Well, he just is always perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's just a testament to his conditioning and his safety in the ring.
He is. There's no other way around it. He is perfect. Like, he is
the Ubermensch. Sorry.
Damn it, Francis. We weren't going to murmur about those jokes, I thought.
I couldn't. You open it up for me, man. I'm sorry.
All right, let's.
She said,
Jesus Christ. All right, let's talk about the main event. Let's talk about the main event. So, WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, man.
Yeah.
Before we say this, we all thought Cody was going to win. Cody did win, so we all got the point on that. All right, let's talk about the match. I guess I'll just start. Oh God.
Oh, we want you to start.
Before anything else, I will say that this was, despite being a predictable match, I will say that this was this was actually a very entertaining match. I will say, I will give it that.
That's right. Yeah.
I hate you. So
Go on, please.
I hate the both.
Yeah, please. The floor is yours.
You have all the time in the world.
I really don't.
Especially for what you're about to say now.
Oh God. Despite my personal feelings on the man, Logan Paul is a fantastic rat. He's a fantastic rat.
Oh, we're not letting you. You're saying that fucking last word.
I hate you so much. Logan Paul is a fantastic wrestler. Fuck me.
Yeah.
There it is. There we go. You heard it here on the push. Cap finally admits it.
Shut up.
Cap finally did what a bunch of crybabies will never do, not only in the wrestling world, but in a bunch of different worlds. He separated the man from the business, and he appreciates him as a wrestler, but also with the fact that he's a complete scumbag. I'm so proud of you.
Was that so hard, Cap?
Yes.
Was that so hard?
Yes, but anyway.
The episode's over. Thanks for joining us.
Anyway. Not all jokes aside. Let's actually talk about the match. This was a fantastic match. I will say that. And by the way, we don't really get to talk about it much on this show that much. But can we just appreciate how good WWE is without fucking Kevin Dunn working the cameras?
Oh.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Because
don't even fucking start me.
They had that 360. That 360 shot where Logan was gonna do a splash onto Cody from the announcers table. That, oh my God, that was good. That was cinema.
His idea.
That was cinema. It was. It came out. I saw on Instagram today that was his idea, but that was freaking cinema. Oh my God, that was gorgeous.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kevin Dunn, it would have been 3 hard cuts by the time he hit the fucking table.
True.
Yep.
True, but it was.
That would have.
It was a fantastic.
Honest here. Sorry, Kat, but that's probably the best thing that TKO has done since they bought the company. is the fact that these camera angles, oh my god, they have been
better
just
camera work.
It's been pure.
Now
It's been
it's
cinema.
Better production team.
It's been pure cinema.
yeah.
Because they got rid of Kevin Dunn, who was like a fucking dinosaur when it came to that kind of shit.
True.
Who was a total geed goblin.
But anyway, back to the match itself. Despite I think nobody was shocked about the outcome of this match. I don't think anybody was surprised. Anybody thought
the second Logan Paul took his title off the match. I already knew Cody was going to win regardless because they're not going to pull the title off him yet.
Yeah.
But
they're also not going to pull the title off of Logan either.
Exactly. So. They're like, oh, no United States Championship for you. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So Logan's going to lose clean. Great.
True. And, but despite all of that...
I would have said, oh, shenanigans, no contest, whatever. But no, the second he pulled the U.S. title, I was like, great, he's eating the pin.
That's true. But despite the predictableness of this match... I got to give it to the man because I feel like people won't be able to take me seriously as a journalist if I just keep fucking denying it. The man's a fucking damn good athlete. He's a damn good athlete. He's very good in the ring. He's a natural heel. We all know he's a natural heel.
Paul
can never be a babyface as long as he is a professional wrestler.
Oh, for the love of God, he can never be a babyface. Don't ever make this man up. Don't even try. It's never going to work out.
That's the way it goes.
It's just never going to work out. He is a heel forever. You can't even make him an MJF-like babyface. He is just a heel.
Yeah, that's like Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio can never be a heel.
Instead of the small amount of losers that will always stick by him, nobody likes him enough that he could be anywhere near a face turn. Like
exactly. But to be
right.
And to his credit, he has used that properly in the industry. Yeah, the moves are very clean. It was a fantastic match. Cody was spot on as he usually is. I
especially love the I'm Cody Rhodes bitch at the end of the match.
Before
he pinned him and did the crossroads.
That was fantastic. But overall, I think that because of the predictableness of the match, how good this match was really going to be was based on the performance between the two of them. And I have to say, it was, they were able to put bash the predictability of the match, we will say. All right, somebody else say things.
No, but I was
no. Let's just sit here quietly for a bit and just take that in.
We're recording, Scott. Either talk or let somebody else talk.
Nah, Scott has the right idea.
Okay. Then, as I think majority rules, I would like to hear more praise from Cap about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll push Cap out of his misery before we have to take him to the hospital because he had a stroke. Honestly, this was like one of my favorite matches of the night. I thought it was very good. It was definitely one of the more entertaining matches of the night. As like you said, as predictable as it was, I still had a blast watching it. So definitely not a bad call on WWE's part. I know we were very skeptical of it at first, but I think it paid off well.
Yeah, true. Scott, you got anything to say?
No, not really. Instead of personally attacking him, which I could probably said another sentence that would have been worse, but I have nothing. The match was just it was predictable, but still kept that amazing factor towards it.
Yeah, Francis, anything to add to this?
It's been I feel like this is the first time, not the first time in a long time, but like this was as babyface versus heel as you could get, which isn't saying much because like Cody's last big title match before this was against Roman, but it's nice to see that they're keeping that up with him and Logan. And yeah, I loved watching Cody Rhodes just go absolutely ham on Logan Paul, and I like it even more that you had to admit that Logan Paul was good at something.
All right. Especially since Cody Rhodes is versing Mark Henry. I mean, AJ Styles next title defense.
That's true. Well, that's a story for another episode, though. So overall, for King and Queen of the Ring, Dom and Francis were tied at third place with 3 points. Scott had 4 points, and I ended up winning with 5 points. So, cool. Eventually, we got to figure out if there's like a prize for the winner of these things or something like that. We should probably. What is it?
There is the Mythic Tier World Championship.
Oh.
We tally up the wins that we all got from all the pay-per-views, and whoever had the most points gets the title.
Oh,
Yeah.
Neat. If only there was a place where we had all of these rules for these games. If only there was a place people could watch that.
So make sure to. I'll post the winnings. Starting next pay-per-view. After next pay-per-view, I'll start posting the wins for us. But yeah, just make sure to keep those papers because we're going to tally them up at the end.
Excellent. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about something none of us have tied into this show. Contracts. Let's talk about contracts for a minute because as of late, the expiration, wrestlers' contracts expiring, specifically in WWE. They're nothing new. To be honest with you, this is not anything new problem. But I'm especially been feeling as of late that they're playing it really loose with some of these contracts, to be honest with you. I was able to accept it when it was happening with Drew McIntyre. I was even able to... I was getting a little annoyed between... when Seth Rollins, they hadn't reached a deal on his contract yet, but they eventually did. And then this past weekend, we find out that Becky Lynch, who just fresh off of her title loss, her contract has officially expired.
Well, it expired after Mania. She extended it herself.
Okay, fair enough.
To help out with the whole Rhea thing.
Fair enough.
Do you mind if I weigh in real quick?
Please do. Give me your thoughts.
So, here's my deal. With Becky, I don't think there's anything to worry about, first off. Because, as we know, Seth did re-sign.
Yes.
Becky's not gonna fucking leave to go to AEW.
Or anywhere else.
Her husband works in WWE.
Oh, God. No.
But, so that's everyone's like, oh, she's going to AEW. I was like, she's not fucking going to AEW. She's taking time off. She hasn't had a break since she came back from having her daughter.
Yeah, especially since Rollins is having a break because of an injury. It's the perfect time.
Multiple injuries.
Exactly. Seth is taking time off for his own health.
Seth needs to be nowhere but inside the goddamn hyperbolic time chamber right now, is my thoughts.
Seth is the kind of person who will just go. He doesn't give a shit. He'll wrestle until it breaks, and then he'll take care of it.
During that WrestleMania night, too, if you see a video of the way not only barely walked, I saw a video of when he took that Roman bump. Oh my God, his leg, it's showing his leg bend the other way. It was crazy.
Yeah, it did not look good.
Oh, it was horrible.
So the guy needs a break. Let him take a break. Becky probably didn't renew her contract yet. This is just my opinion, my speculation. Because of the fact of when she let her contract end and she was still had a couple days left, look what they did. They asked her, oh shit, Rhea got hurt. We need you to be the champion for a bit so Liv can win organically instead of us just handing her a title. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So if she's not signed, she doesn't have to worry about receiving a phone call from Triple H on a random Tuesday and say, hey, we need you. Yes, she's a free agent currently. In my opinion, there's no way in hell that she goes anywhere but the WWE. Granted, I think there might be a nice chunk of time until we see her again. Simply for the fact of, she wants to take time off to be a mother for her daughter. like hang out with her husband who's recovering from an injury. Can you blame her? Not really. I don't think she's going anywhere.
No, I don't. But here's the thing: I don't blame Becky. I don't blame her at all, to be honest with you. And to be honest, if this were an isolated case, I wouldn't even be bringing up something like this. But as we've found out, recently, it's not only Becky's contract who is now expired, but now we're finding out that Chad Gable, who we just spent so much time, singing his praises about his, recent heel turn and things like that. We're finding out his contract is expiring in a couple of weeks, and on top of that, Ricochet's contract is expiring in a couple of weeks as well. And to be honest, with you, I've really been liking Ricochet as of late. But so my thing is, it kind of seems like from the outside looking in, like they're really kind of losing a grip on contracts here. It seems to me like they're really playing it loose with a lot of important characters, at least as of right now.
I say it's more just a bad timing thing.
Yeah, I mean, contracts expire. That's what happens. It's like look at it this way. It's like when you look at professional sports, right? You look at football players, baseball players, hockey players, whatever. Their contract ends at the end of the season, and then you go the entire season, and they're like, oh, they still haven't signed. I wonder what they're doing. And then they go into free agency, and they get like some record-breaking money contract. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like I wouldn't be shocked if, because TKO is a sports company. As much as it's MMA, UFC, whatever, and then now they added WWE to that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they're treating it, because TKO's lawyers have to draft up new contracts. Exactly. It's not like the WWE where it was, when it was just the WWE, Vince could be like, oh, blah, 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 here's your contract and this is what you're going to do for me and blah. Now it's got a team of lawyers with TKO and financial people being like, hey, this is how much money we can give this person. Do we think he's worth this much money? So there's probably a lot more negotiation in terms of contracts as, since TKO has taken over.
Okay, but like
it's less like, Vince was very like, yes, you make me money, so I'll give you money, blah blah.
Okay, but,
and now TKO is like, but do you really?
Okay, but like here's my thing. Again, I would be fine with something like that if these were people that aren't involved in anything right now. And if this were like other sports, then we wouldn't be talking about this. But specifically when it comes to wrestling, it's not just another athlete here. I'm specifically focusing on Chad here because Chad is the one that's involved in a pretty major feud right now.
No,
and so
I understand what you're saying, but
you make it sound like they're trying to get rid of them. They're not.
They're not. It's just the contract's expiring. The contract has to expire before they can give them a new one.
Okay. I'll jump in there because you guys be at the same though on this one. Nobody's. If it was other people, and their situations were different. They all have a situation in which they shouldn't leave, and they don't have to leave. I'll start with Becky. I appreciate her extending her contract to help with Rhea being injured, but I'm still on the notice that we didn't need Becky to begin with to have that storyline because it was stupid having her have that title in the first place. You had a tournament for Rhea's title. You could have put anybody in that spot, and it would have been perfectly fine of Liv Morgan taking over against the person who won that tournament to win the title. But I still think Liv should have won the tournament, got the title, and just destroyed competition for her revenge tour. But Becky's not going to go.
But they had no other stars at that point.
They had a bunch.
Becky is the biggest name on the roster.
They had a bunch of them.
Who?
Becky was the biggest name on the roster at the time. Having Liv beat Becky looks better.
It does.
Than if she beat fucking Maxine Dupree.
Who?
But you
Scott.
But you could have used her. You could have used her storyline as part of the reason winning it. Like this was all about before she got injured and she had to sit down, and that's when she was a baby face. There was a lot of powerhouse wrestlers that treated her like crap that you could have picked her. Name one. Shayna Baszler.
Shayna hasn't won a fucking title yet since coming to the main roster.
No, I know, but she is a presence to be dealt with because she is.
Dude, she hasn't been a presence since she got on the roster. She hasn't been a presence since for like 4 years now.
Yeah, but that's only one. Nia Jax was still back at the time. There's a bunch of great female wrestlers as we known from the King of the Ring tournament that could have easily taken. I mean, I understand why it was Becky. Obviously, she has the name, obviously.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I just feel like having Becky hold that title for 1 month and then just losing it. It was kind of like it wasn't necessary.
It's called a transitional champion.
Exactly.
You act like they've never done that before.
Also, I'm sorry. You guys were just. But at the beginning, I'm sorry. Hold on a minute, Scott. Because you guys were screaming at me at the beginning of this episode when I told you that I thought Nia was gonna win the Queen of the Ring tournament. Now you're telling me you would have been fine if she had won that Battle Royal and held the title for a month.
Scott's the only one who said that.
No, I wanted Liv Morgan.
Yeah, why are you messing with that?
I wanted Liv Morgan to win the fucking whole tournament and just take the title, and just have that storyline that she's having right now from the very beginning. I took your title. I took your man. What are you gonna do about it? Nobody's gonna stop me. I'm gonna take everybody down who treated me like crap on this revenge tour.
And you could still do that.
And she's doing that now. She's literally doing that right now.
She could do that,
but it feels more elevated because she took that title.
2 wins over Becky Lynch on top of that.
But anyway, it feels more legitimate because she took that title away from somebody who is a name in that division. Whether you like Becky, whether you like the fact that Becky is or not, it doesn't matter. Becky was a name in the women's division. Now, what feels bigger? Now again. I've asked this for multiple weeks now. What feels bigger? Her just randomly winning it in some battle royal, which I didn't even agree was the right way to do it anyway, or her basically taking it away from who everybody was calling the Hulk Hogan of the division.
Okay, but Becky Lynch is too big of a wrestler in that business to have a crappy title run like she just had.
That was a shitty title run. Champion.
So out of everything you've said, that's the one thing I'll agree with.
I understand that you have to put on someone like a big name, but there's also the fact of certain titles. I'll say this as a football reference. Certain rings weigh more. Certain title holds weigh a lot more on the scale than other title holds. This is probably one of the weakest ones for probably the past few years. It's probably the weakest title hold since Triple H has been under control.
Definitely the shortest.
The business. Definitely the shortest, and I could argue one of the
technically
weakest.
Technically Drew's was, but I ain't gonna get into that.
No, yeah,
I don't even think that counts at this point.
That's why I said one of the. I mean, it helped. It helped the fact that it was a briefcase that helped him lose, and it wasn't just I had it and then I had it for like a tiny bit. Yeah. It was literally match after match, and then he lost it. But okay. I'll continue on. But Ricochet, he has his spot finally.
Isn't he the title? Doesn't he have the speed championship?
He's the speed champion for X. And this is, he's a fantastic seller. He's not that good on the mic, if I'm going to be honest. But everything else is just spot on.
Kind of land a little flat.
Yeah, and the fact that he's probably one of the most athletic wrestlers. Probably, I'm not going to say he's the most athletic wrestler in the fucking company, and having a championship that you have to that is a very quick matches, and you have to defend it fast. There's nobody else that you could really put it on to start it.
The whole
So,
show
I
might
don't
have
think
well
he's-
just been made for him. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not going to go anywhere. And as the only one that I would be nervous about would be Chad Gable, because they
'cause he
haven't
could
done
very
anything with him.
He could very easily shift over to TNA and like be a major champion.
Yeah.
there.
He's not. I mean, it's kind of his title. Wow, his contract is ending up at a bad time because you can't, like, as much as great as we think this heel run is going to turn, there isn't something memorable that we can remember of Chad Gable that isn't a wrestling move that he does.
Yeah.
So if anybody, I would have to be as much. Chad Gable's probably one of my favorite wrestlers right now. As much as I don't want him to leave, I could very easily see him leaving because they haven't done shit.
I don't think he will, though. I have faith.
No, I don't think any of them are leaving. But out of all of them, I
Yeah.
think Chad Gable's most likely to leave.
No, I can see where you're coming from with that.
All right, so then let me ask you all this: is this contract thing really an issue, or am I just being hysterical? Which is
You're
it?
just
I don't
being hysterical.
understand what you're seeing as an issue.
You just got to drink your cranberry juice, Cap. It's okay.
No. Seriously, like what? Like I don't see. Like
Yeah.
what do you see as an issue? The fact that their contracts are expiring.
I think it's not that their contracts are that the contracts themselves are expiring.
they all
It feels like
expire.
there's
Shut the
absolutely
fuck up and
no.
let him talk. Hold on.
It's the
Sorry.
fact that there is absolutely no sense of urgency. It feels like to re-sign people that right now are involved in major stories.
Okay,
That's the
That's what
difference.
I wasn't getting from what you were
That's
saying.
the
before.
difference between this and other sports. Other sports,
Yes.
there is no story attached to if a random athlete on a different sports team his contract is expiring or not. There is an added
Yes.
element when it comes to professional wrestling that
No,
I don't
agree.
think that TKO is
Hold on,
taking
there
into
is one.
consideration.
Don't forget the Cowboys. That's always a story. They
Nobody
always
gives
have
a
a
shit
story
about
when
the
it comes to
Cowboys here,
anything.
Scott. Nobody cares.
Yeah, Rob's not here.
It's
It's not as fun to put shit on the Cowboys. No,
Continue. All
okay.
right.
So that's what I was missing, like in terms of context from what you were saying earlier. My only caveat to what you're saying, Cap, is I'm sure there is a sense of urgency. Obviously, we don't see everything that happens behind the scenes. And now, in the age of social media, everyone is so fast to be like, their contract's up. Look, everyone look. Because now it's like, when we didn't have AEW looming in the fucking background, as much as it's not really as great as it was when it first came up, it's still a very viable option for people to leave and go to.
It is.
But for some ungodly fucking reason, wrestling fans in general, the second they hear someone's contract is about to expire in the WWE, they're like, oh, they're going to AEW. Like, what?
It was
But here's also-
Why is that like instantly the fucking
That's
reaction?
how it was with WCW back in the day.
No, I
But
understand
here's-
that. But everyone, like the second someone, like it could be fucking Shane McMahon. Oh, his contract's expiring. He's gonna sign with AEW. Like, there's no fucking reason to it. It's just, other than their contract's about to expire, they're gonna leave.
Yeah, but I'll address that. I'll branch off of what you just said, because a lot of people, it does. I mean, I control. I'll admit it to people. I'm the one that controls Twitter. And if you like the news that I've been putting, thank you. But
Instagram.
this is the thing. There's
We don't have
multiple
a Twitter.
things. TikTok, not Twitter, Instagram. But
There we go.
here's the thing that people aren't realizing about AEW. But I'll mention this first. Seeing that I'm looking up the news, there is an issue with them. People overreacting, because every time I heard about these contracts being held up, it was always, there's a week left. I had it from Ricochet and Chad Gable that when their contract was expiring, it's, there's a week left. And obviously they're still fucking going, so nothing's happened. And also the other thing, and sorry if I blow you guys' ears, AEW doesn't have money. They overpaid for mid-card wrestlers, and now they don't have money to sign people, and that's why people are leaving, because they're not going on the shows, and people are being so fucking greedy, thinking that they deserve money that they
It's not even that they
didn't do anything to get.
Combination. It's a combination of overpaying and not selling tickets.
Yeah.
I think their pay-per-view was the best seller they've had in a very long time.
Yeah, AEW
fucking tickets.
They had to sign back, obviously. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but they obviously had to sign back MJF, but they don't really have the tools to be able to keep a lot of big talents coming in the near future. Because, I mean, you shot yourselves in the foot by pulling a Vince McMahon by putting people in your show that are over 40, 45 years old. You have so many of those wrestlers that are like majorly on the card, and it's like you're developed already. You don't need to overpay them. They're not needed to be like, you have a bunch of great young talent that you're not giving fucking titles to, but yet you're gonna give it to people like fucking Edge, Christian, and Mercedes Moné. Which, besides Edge, I think Christian and Mercedes Moné are fucking terrible. Like, compared to how they're pushed. But that's going off subject. But they don't have the money. WWE's in a perfect spot because they know how to control themselves. And they have a person who actually knows how to control a business.
No, because that's the whole thing. Especially, like, you know, if you're Tony Khan, MJF coming back from an injury, you know, that's do or die to sign. Because if you don't sign him, in my opinion, you're absolutely royally fucked.
You are.
You're losing everybody else.
Because
he's the only one.
At that point, if you really look at it right now. You think of AEW, who's the fucking draw?
MJF.
MJF is the only draw in my opinion.
Kenny's gone. That's
especially now that Sting is retired, because a lot of people went just for Sting, but Cody left and is back in the WWE.
CM Punk.
CM Punk got fired.
Kenny's
and is back in the WWE. Kenny Omega is out indefinitely because of injury and possibly retiring.
Kenny's body seems to be like rejecting itself at this point.
Exactly. And then
Edge just got injured.
The Bucks are boring as fuck to watch, in my opinion. They're very generic tag team wrestlers.
Darby Allin's doing everything he possibly can to kill himself.
Self-destruction. Yeah. Darby's a walking self-destruction. The best thing about him was Sting, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of the spots he does are cool, but it gets to a point where it's like, I can't watch this shit anymore. I'm going to watch it. If he keeps this shit up, he's going to die in the ring. As much as I hate to say it, because he's a really fucking cool dude and a great wrestler. But he's too focused on the high spots and the crazy shit. Like, he could be a great wrestler if he slowed the fuck down.
Stop trying to act like Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy didn't
Jeff
only
Hardy
do
without the drugs.
Yeah, no, and also Jeff Hardy didn't only do death-defying stunts. He was actually more entertaining in the ring than he was on fucking 50 feet lengths above ground.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. You know, it's Jeff at least had the fucking drugs to numb the pain. Darby's just fucking out here getting hit by buses just for the fuck it.
We're not advocating drug use, by the way, kids.
We're not. We're absolutely not.
By no means am I saying drug use is cool, but like, holy shit! And like, what I'm saying is like, it more of a credit to Darby, because like the fact that he's doing this shit sober. Yeah, I mean, like, other than that, it's like, who do you really have? Edge is out on an injury, and even then,
he's retiring. I'm hearing he's forced to retire because of his injury.
Yeah, he broke his tibia, which means he's going to be out for at least a year, basically. If he does come back, and at that point, he might just retire. But I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back for like one last match, just so he could say he went out on his terms. Which he probably should have did when he left the WWE in the first place, but that's besides the point.
Fair enough.
I mean, Will Ospreay is somebody people have been talking about a lot, and I know he just won a title. But but even him,
he wrestles more in Japan than he does in AEW.
Yeah, and then even him, people are starting to not like him because they're starting to see that he's not idle talent.
It's not even that. I feel like a big part of it, especially with the guys that get over in Japan, they come to the States and there's so much hype around them, but then the crowd is just like.
It all depends
the
on
crowd
how they.
Doesn't really.
I do,
It's
however,
weird.
feel,
It's like
I
the
do,
American
however,
crowds
feel
don't pop
like
for them, but they fiend for them on the internet, and they're like, we need this guy in the WWE or AEW, and then they get there and they're like crickets.
all right.
It makes no
It
sense.
depends
Because-
on how they're booked.
Yeah.
It's because the people in AEW doesn't know how to tell a story, and so people just can't get into it. And then when they get into the matches, it's all right. I saw this jump like 50 times in 2 different matches.
All right. So actually, since we're already talking about this, let's bring this into our next topic here, which is the topic of AEW. Let's just make this transition since we're already like very into this topic.
I was going to say
now.
we're already like fucking 10 minutes in.
So, Double or Nothing.
Just make it official.
Double or Nothing happened on the same exact weekend that happened on the same
Jesus
exact
Christ.
weekend that King and Queen of the Ring
King,
happened.
Queen.
It was the very next night. And now, despite the amount of, for lack of better words, shit that we have talked about AEW on this podcast, I have to be honest. I think this was a good show. I think that this was.
Yeah.
I think that this had some genuinely fun moments. I'm going to bring up the main moment that I think of, to be honest with you, and it's the fact that during Anarchy in the Arena, they played the final countdown.
It's the
Bryan Danielson's previous theme song when he was on the independent scene, and I was so happy. It's the greatest thing I have ever seen in my life. Thank you for finally bringing back the final countdown. I don't care that it cost you $200,000. It was $200,000 well spent. Well, those are my thoughts on it. Actually, all right. Jokes aside, the big story out of this is the fact that MJF is back in AEW. MJF is back, and that is a win that this company desperately needed.
Here's the thing. Like I said earlier, MJF coming back to AEW was like do or die for Tony Khan. But I think at the same time, as much as I would love to see him in WWE, I don't think he would be... I don't think he would be happy in the WWE. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have the freedom that he has in AEW to just call the boss a mark on live TV.
A fucking mark.
A fucking mark on live TV, excuse me. He wouldn't have the liberties to do what he does in the ring, especially with his promos. Like, he would be fine in the ring. Like, his matches would go over very well in WWE. But his promos would suffer big time.
And yeah,
Because
and we wouldn't get.
you could
And
tell-
we wouldn't get.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, and no, you can go right after. I just want to say his promos will suffer, and we won't get the dream promo battle between him and the Miz.
Oh, yeah, no. They would definitely... they would have to turn Miz heel again to get the one that everyone wants. Because everyone wants heel MJF and heel Miz to cut fucking promos on each other. That would be awesome. But WWE is very heavily scripted in terms of promos. I mean, granted, not as much now with Triple H in charge, but you can tell there's still a semblance of a script there. AEW, they just give MJF a mic and say, "Here, go."
Can I tell you, Dom, why I disagree with this? Actually,
Shoot.
let's talk about another very popular person in WWE right now. Let's talk about LA Knight.
Yeah.
Thank you. When he was in TNA and when he was on the independent scene, would anybody disagree that there was nobody else, whatever promotion he was in, there was nobody else that was on the level of him on the mic? Yes or no?
No, I agree.
There was
No.
nobody else on his level. Now,
I mean, it's TNA, so it's not really the same. But
now
It was bad TNA.
with when it comes to WWE specifically, and keep in mind we're talking about the current era of WWE. That's when LA really just exploded onto the scene.
Oh yeah,
he
his
worked
promos
with
are
the
still
same
fire.
constraints that MJF would have in WWE. Now, am I saying he's the greatest talker right now? No, I don't think that he's the greatest talker. Am I saying he's one of the top 5 best people on the mic right now? Absolutely, I am. So that's why I'm not too worried about that idea. That's why I'm not too worried about it, because I feel like, yes, MJF, Max would have to dial it back a little bit. You can't be calling Triple H a mark. He'll come out in the leather jacket and beat the crap out of you.
That's what gets him. That's what got him over, is his controversial promos, because he was basically, Tony Khan said, "I don't care, just fucking get views, go cut a promo that's gonna be awesome. I'll eat the fine for you dropping an F-bomb on live TV."
But there's 2 things that we're not considering here. One is the fact that I think that MJF, I think it could be tweaked to work within their confinements. And 2,
yes, but it would feel hollow, in my opinion.
And 2, and probably even more important than 1, Raw is going to be on Netflix this time next year.
I didn't think of that.
Raw is going to be on Netflix this time of next year. And we are living under a COO right now who is more willing to listen to the audience than maybe previous powers would be. So, maybe when they reach streaming, definitely, maybe they'd be more willing to take those kinds of risks. And maybe he'd be willing to let certain things slide, because he knows that those controversies that MJF is so famous for equals straight up cash.
Viewership, yeah. You know what? I forgot about the Netflix deal, to be completely honest with you.
There is one thing that his promos would suffer, because he seems to like to do this, but this might be only an AEW thing. He seems, not only is he very language heavy when it comes to his promos, but he's also very brandy type promo, like where he constantly likes to mention other brands, and I just feel WWE don't give 2 shits about other brands. They just want you to do good promos, not talk about other promos.
Well, I don't know how much they care about other brands, but we're going to get to that.
They let Sammy bring up AEW at one point.
Yeah, but it's always once every 3-4 months. And with AEW, it's 3-4 times every show.
They are mentioning other promotions now, though.
Yeah, we're going to get to that a little bit later, how much they are mentioning it.
They finally mentioned New Japan. It's we're only an extra branch off of New Japan. Let's finally talk about the other company.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. This was to get to the main point. It was critical for AEW to re-sign MJF, and to be honest with you, I'm glad they did. Other things in the night that happened, Edge, despite the fact that, he's a 50-year-old man, thinks that he can jump off of a cage, a 15-foot cage, and land on his feet, no less.
Yeah, that confused the shit out of me. Edge, you're better than that. What the fuck was that landing?
Other matches were good, man. Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong, I thought was a fantastic match. I'm happy to see that Will Ospreay won the title. Because also, to be honest with you, I'll bring up a gripe that I do have with AEW right now, and that is the United Adam Cole's group right now. I forget what their name. Is it United Kingdom or something like that, or Undisputed Kingdom? Undisputed Kingdom. That's what it is.
I was gonna say the United Kingdom is in Europe.
Yeah, Undisputed Kingdom. I understand that it's suffered because of injuries with both Maxwell and Adam, but my God, I could care less. I could not care less about this faction, man, to be completely honest with you. And yeah, overall, I thought it was a good pay-per-view, man. I thought it was a good pay-per-view. I thought it had a lot of fun moments. thought it had a lot of really fun moments, despite Edge's fuck up. I thought that him and Aleister Black were very fun. I thought Anarchy in the Arena was as entertaining as it could be, especially when they... By the way, not a bunch of people have talked about this, but I want to get your guys' thought about it. They just set Jack Perry on fire.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They set a man on fire.
Okay.
No.
I mean, WWE's done it.
WWE's done it, but have they ever done it by just like pure flamethrower? Like Darby just walking to the ring with a flamethrower?
I mean, I don't know. The only person I know that got put on fire was Kane, and I don't know how that was done. I don't remember.
Oh, it was.
Bray Wyatt did too.
Yeah, that's also
They
true.
also did Edge and Mick Foley.
Yeah, I don't know. There. Maybe, you know, it's not like groundbreaking as I thought it would be, but I don't know. I overall thought it was. I overall thought that the show was entertaining, to be honest with you. And
no doubt about it.
It was definitely.
I mean,
That was definitely the most entertaining AEW product that AEW has put out in several months.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you know, there's too much nice things going on with AEW right now.
Oh yeah,
And
we've
been nice to them for like all of 5 minutes.
No, not that. Not that it's bound to go down, because it's always bound to go down. I know that for sure. But that pay-per-view doesn't get a total safe, clean slate. I have an issue with this fucking pay-per-view.
Of course you do. Go ahead.
Of course, you can't have a good thing going without me fucking here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fucking blow up a wrestler spot that you guys heard I've mentioned multiple times.
All right, hold on a second. Folks, get ready. We're about to have a Scott take.
Scott take!
You know, when this tag team split up and threw a temper tantrum because they weren't on TV before for a title that for some reason is still fucking around that shouldn't be in the women's tag team titles. But we have to... Mercedes Moné, stop acting like a spoiled fucking brat. First things first, you are not a good wrestler. You are very boring. Second thing, people can correct me because I saw this once. I don't know. I haven't seen it since. But why the fuck does she get a title match and wins a title match? What is with them doing this? Bringing in people to AEW, in the very first match they have, they win a title. You know how disrespectful that is to not only the people in the company who's trying to fight to get a title, but also to other wrestlers. It's like, come on, like, you can't wrestle for shit. And the worst thing out of it all is the fact that you changing your promos, which is nothing short of just changing your name and acting like every other fucking character that you've ever played with. Because I'm pretty sure the CEO, I haven't seen her talk yet, but I'm pretty sure the personality of her CEO character is the same fucking personality of her boss character. Like, she's just very plain and basic, and she keeps getting what she wants, and it just doesn't make sense because she's not good. She's not entertaining at all.
You good?
Tell us how you really feel.
Do you feel better?
Like, it's... No, because it keeps fucking happening. Like,
Scott, do you feel better?
No. You said no.
No, it's not good. And also, here's the other thing, and I think we mentioned it so far. Edge, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing jumping off the top of a fucking steel cage when you know damn well you're lucky to be wrestling right now? And now you have to retire again because you wanted to do a stunt that didn't need to be done. Because the fact that Gangrel came to help you out would have been good enough for the ending. Like, Gangrel doesn't appear that much. It's great to fucking see him.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah, a little bit.
better. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All
All right. Does anybody else have any thoughts?
I don't think I can
No.
top that Scott take, dude.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a good bookend there.
Yeah.
No. We can't bookend because
Oh,
we're
God.
forgetting
Oh, God.
probably
He's
the biggest news.
Oh God, he's coming back.
It's not a continuum of a Scott take. This is more of a disappointed in you guys because we're seeing something that hasn't been done in a very fucking long time, and that's the fact that we're getting TNA creeping into NXT.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I never said that we were done with the show. I just wanted to see that your head hadn't exploded yet. Anyway, yes, this is going to be our last topic of the episode.
End off like that with a rant, so let's just go.
No, we're not ending.
No, this is going to be our last topic of the episode tonight, folks. NXT this past week had an absolutely phenomenal episode. We don't get to talk about NXT that much, not because we dislike NXT or anything like that, or at least I don't. But just because there's not much outside of certain superstars such as Trick Williams to really talk about. But this week particularly, a couple of interesting things happened. First of all, we talked about AEW, but Ethan Page made his debut on NXT, which I'm very excited about. I like Ethan Page. I liked his work in TNA specifically. But also, and Scott Bash, you mentioned it, the Forbidden Door is, and perhaps promptly, this is happening right now since AEW's Forbidden Door pay-per-view is the next one to come up. So perhaps this is fitting for right now, but WWE is opening their own door as well with TNA. That's right, Knockouts champion Jordan Grace appeared on NXT. Behave yourself.
No, that's Rhea.
Right.
Behave yourself, Francis. Behave yourself.
Sorry.
I will make Dom mute you.
You're an adult.
Jordan Grace, Knockouts champion in TNA, made her debut on NXT last week and will be challenging Roxanne Perez for her NXT Women's title. So I'll start off with my thoughts on this. I did not see this shit coming. This came completely out of left field for me. And to be honest with you guys, I am very interested. I am very interested in the implications of something like this. I don't know if it'll go any further beyond Battleground.
No, listen, that means we're one step closer to Joe Hendry.
Yeah!
Oh my God! There we go.
Yes.
Say his name and he'll appear.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah!
All right. But anyway,
in all fairness, I can't say I did it. Like, I definitely didn't think it was going to happen like this. But I'm not surprised it was Jordan Grace, especially after her turnout for
the Rumble.
Because she put on a fucking spectacle in the Rumble.
He was the best. She had the best. She was the best in that Rumble, honestly.
She was the biggest surprise.
So it's no surprise to me that they called her back for this. But I am surprised that the way they did it, like pulling her in for a fucking title shot at Battlegrounds, that's gonna be fucking nuts.
Especially against Roxanne, who was also in that Royal Rumble, and I actually found her to be very good in that match.
Fantastic, yeah. I mean, she's one of what I think 3 two-time NXT Women's Champions.
Yeah,
I think it's her, Becky, and Charlotte, right?
Yes,
I think so.
I agree. I think so. But
No, I feel like that's wrong.
Wait.
I think it's her.
I think Charlotte is definitely one of them.
Charlotte is definitely one. Her.
One of the what again? I'm sorry.
Two-time, multi-time NXT Women's Champion, but I believe it's her. It's Charlotte, and there is
Bailey.
No, not Bailey. I'm not sure if there is another one, but overall, while he's looking that up, Scott, give me your take on this.
Shayna Baszler. I'm fucking dumb.
Oh my god! All right, so Shayna Baszler, Roxanne Perez, and Charlotte
are the only women to win the title more than once.
Scott, your take.
Okay, so my take on this. We've obviously seen. This is just stay with me, guys, here. But we've obviously seen countless times people from NXT bump up from the WWE. Mm-hmm. But I feel like this time there's more done damage because they've always been that big pop in NXT to keep it afloat. And now that Braun Breaker is gone and a bunch of the big powerhouses that was in, they needed something to build it up. And I don't see any other show other than NXT for it to be perfect to have TNA take over. We've been wanting the doors to open for so long because we never really got it. I mean, you could say ECW, but that was when after the show stopped and they just revamped it I'm going to say it. They revamped ECW just to promote CM Punk and Bobby Lashley.
It was literally they only did the invasion because they already owned them.
Yeah. WCW was again this company closed down, and they just brought. They basically just brought the fucking 3 wrestlers that was a part of WWE before.
They didn't get any
NWO. Yeah, and I love it because, to be honest, when I think of wrestlers like Joe Hendry and all of them, I don't really see them in the main roster right now.
No, but
and putting them, I feel like the perfect fit is NXT to introduce it, and then hopefully a couple years down the line, we could get a Survivor Series brand versus brand. Maybe.
Possibly.
I would love to see that.
Possibly.
Here's the thing. One thing, that's what I love about Joe Hendry especially, is the fact that he's such a fucking meme. He could literally pop up anywhere. Shut up. That's not what I was going for. Shut the fuck up, Francis. But you know what I mean? If they decided to pull him onto SmackDown, let's say, for an episode, people will pop for him because they know who he is.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that crowd would go nuts. Absolutely. For such a short range of popularity that he's gotten.
Can you imagine, if, let's say, for whatever fucking reason, someone decided, Sami Zayn's I'm going to offer an open challenge on my Intercontinental Championship because I need a match tonight.
And I need this match to be prestigious.
I would mark the fuck out.
That's what I'm saying. I think anyone else in TNA wouldn't get that kind of reaction except for him.
So
because of the fact that he's a giant fucking meme.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, Francis, your take.
I'm really happy about it. For the past couple of episodes of this show, I've been championing TNA. Really, really glad that they're not the worst anymore, and they've really clawed themselves away from being total garbage. Their programming has gotten a lot better. They have a lot of.
They can get on regular TV.
Yeah, and now that they're actually working with WWE is a really good thing for them because I don't know if. I think it's too early to say that this is going to lead to a full-on NXT versus TNA program. If it does, that'll be absolutely awesome, and it's good for everyone involved because a bunch of the TNA guys can get more exposure, like Scott said. But I am really, really interested to see how this turns out.
So
I would love to see a TNA invasion. That would be fucking awesome.
That'd be incredible. Yeah. I'd love that. But anyway, that was going to lead to my next question. What type of future implications do you guys think we're looking at with something like this, or do we have any future implications here at all? To be honest,
I would say for at least the foreseeable future, definitely more TNA people popping up.
Yeah. Like Jonathan
into,
Grisham or Moose.
Yeah, into NXT or even the main roster just for like, even if it's just for like a week, like they come in and they have a match and then they go back to TNA and that's it. I think we might see a little more of that because of the fact that Triple H is so open to working with other companies. Obviously, they're probably not going to do anything with New Japan simply because of the fact of, you know, they're working with AEW.
And New Japan's also working with TNA a little bit. Nick Nemeth showed up.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's NXT. I mean, not NXT. Fucking New Japan isn't like contracted to AEW, but they seem to favor them. Yeah. Because you got to remember, WWE is not very popular with the Japanese wrestlers because of what Vince did with basically every Japanese wrestler that ever worked for him.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Now hold on, let me. There is actually one other guy that I would consider seeing, just because I think TNA? This would be an incredible match. Yes, absolutely. There's one other guy that I would consider. Are you guys familiar with a certain Josh Alexander in TNA?
Yes.
All right, Francis is. So, Francis, let me ask you this question. How hyped would you be for Gunther versus Josh Alexander?
I mean, it would definitely be hype, but I don't think... Again, like, I think the smart thing to do is, like, don't have TNA show up on the main roster. Keep their program with NXT for the time being.
Fair enough. But you know what? I think we're all in agreement here that this would be... I think that this is nothing but a bonus for this company, man.
Look at TNA.
There is one thing I want to see.
What's that?
And I know this is something we're probably not gonna see, and I don't want to see for the next couple of years. But in order to make this a complete, I mean, it's gonna be. I know Triple H. I trust him. It's gonna be a complete success no matter what. But for me to be a complete success, I need to see one of the titles on a wrestler from a different brand. Like, I need to see an NXT or a TNA title being held by the opposite brand.
Yeah.
In them having promotion.
Have, like, Roxanne Perez win the fucking Knockouts Championship and take it to NXT kind of thing.
Yeah, and she goes back and forth. Like, she even pops up with it in TNA and talks and gloats. Like, sorry, I want to see a World War III when this starts to get heating up. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Like, just chaos between brands.
I get what you say. So, like, kind of how, like, when Dom won the North American Championship, how he was on NXT and Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
This will be even crazier because it's not different shows. It's completely different.
It's not different shows under the same umbrella. It's two completely different.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I think Triple H would be willing to do that, but
then Vince McMahon would come back.
I don't think we have to worry about
please,
that.
God, no.
I think you're like the disrespect that you're going to have another wrestler.
Oh my God, no.
First off, I think they would probably have someone from NXT win a TNA championship, and then before they had someone from TNA win an NXT championship. As much as I would love to see Jordan Grace win the NXT Women's Championship, I don't see it happening unless she's going to sign with the WWE.
Fair enough.
But I could be wrong. They could fucking turn around and do this like next week.
Yeah. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, though. All right, folks, I think we're going to wrap up the episode there. Thank you guys so much for waiting. We're glad to be back. We're glad to be back, people. Be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at The Push Wrestling, and please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for our takes on other crazy wrestling stories going around all over the world. Things are getting crazy right now, people. We're going to be here and we're going to be talking about all of it, and I'm going to try not to kill these guys as I do so. So
you can try.
So, for all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Scott Dash.
And I'm Francis.
Ring that bell for me, Dom.